Hey guys, this is going to be my first test vlog. I believe it is December 13th, and I'd like to point out that it is a really, really cold day out here in Wisconsin. Look at that, 14 degrees. Awesome. Not. Well, anyways, I have to go off on a long drive today for work, so we're going to just do a little bit of recording along the way, and we'll just see how things go. Alright, well, just arrived at my pickup, so time to go do some work. And here we go. Buckle up for safety. So I guess while I'm driving, I'm going to try and talk about a couple little things here real quick. Got about a 2.5 hour drive. I gotta go basically down to O'Hare Airport, just outside of Chicago. Actually, it's not going to the airport, but essentially so everybody has an idea where I'm going. It's pretty much where I gotta go. So yeah, when I left my job last year, spent 10 years working for a company as a driver, getting paid hourly, probably spending more time just trying to get my 8 hours in every day than I was actually doing my job, which got old really, really fast. And yeah, so time finally came, and I kind of looked at the money I was making and the money I wanted to make. I basically knew it wasn't going to happen while I was there, so I asked for a raise. Got told the company couldn't do anything for me more than what I was making at the time, which probably in the next decade is going to end up being minimum wage anyways. So I just decided, well, that's it, I'm done. I saw my dad and my brother were working for another courier company, which I will not mention because it's not important, but signed on with them, and probably within the first month of working there was making about twice what I was making at my full-time job. Here now I drive my own vehicle, which happens to be this wonderful 2010 Chevy HHR, and the sun is bad. Plenty gotta take my stuff off my mirror here. See, that's what happens when you keep too much crap in your car. See it? I put a visor down, a whole bunch of crap falls down. But anyways, so I drive my own vehicle, and technically I am unemployed. I'm an independent contractor. I work for myself, drive my own vehicle, pay for my own gas, pay for my own maintenance, pay for my own vehicle. Oil changes, insurance, phone service, everything. It's out of my pocket. of that is I get paid way more than I ever would have made as an employee. Anyways, my contract with the company, you know, is basically that, you know, I work for them and do the work that they need to get done, and they pay me, and since they don't have to worry about me being an employee and incurring all those costs, I get to make more money. So the flip side of that is that, you know, probably about when all things are said and done and calculated, about 20% of the money that I make, give or take, minus major expenses, but about 20% of the money I make gets eaten up by my costs. I probably go through a tank of gas every day and a half, if not more, depending on what I'm doing for the day. I put on about 100,000 miles on my car. I'm at about, as you saw earlier when I showed the temperature and the odometer was next to it. I started driving at about 85,000 miles last October, and as of December 13th here, I'm probably going to clock over 193,000 today. So, yeah, probably pretty close to 110,000 miles already. So, So, yeah, and by comparison, when I was a full-time driver, I thought doing 50,000 in a year was a lot of miles. Yeah, now I'm glad that they make cars better than they used to, because, you know, back, you know, when I was growing up and everything like that, everybody kind of looked at a car with 100,000 miles that, oh wow, this intersection is really busy for some reason. Give me a dirty look. I'll just let you turn and move forward so you get by. Some people. You know, see, the interesting thing is that, you know, you get some people that apparently they just don't understand the, you know, driving. And the thing is I got a line of traffic coming my way, and it's a road that to the right it's 35 miles an hour, and to the left it's 55. So everybody coming from the right is speeding up, and they're getting ready to go 55 miles an hour. So they are coming at me slow, but the thing is, if I pull out to speed up, the thing is they're moving, and the guys to the left, they don't slow down until they get into the 35 mile an hour zone. So just better off waiting and let everybody get by, because you know what, if I have one accident, I lose a lot of money. What I was saying is that, you know, back when I was growing up, it was interesting because, you know, people would look at, oh, the car has 100,000 miles on it, it's about ready to go to the junkyard. And I mean, now if you get a car and you take care of it, you do the stuff that needs to get done, get regular oil changes, which I will admit I go way over on my oil changes. But if I were actually to do my oil changes on the regular suggested intervals, I'd be going in every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks for an oil change, and probably less than that. But I mean, obviously, if I've done 110,000 miles since I started, I'm roughly getting pretty close to 10,000 miles a month. So do the math on how many oil changes I would need to do. I try to get in every month and a half, depending on how many miles I do. I've recently switched over to the high mileage oil because the partial synthetic, and you know, I mean, I'm getting pretty close to 200,000 miles. So it's kind of hard to, you know, it's hard to complain about having 200,000 miles on a car that I only paid $7,500 for 2 years ago, and I put, you know, by the time I hit 200, I'll put 125,000 miles on it. So that's pretty good bang for the buck. I definitely would not get another one. I've never had a car in my life that's had so many quirks and annoying problems. I can take repairs, I can deal with repairs and things like that, stuff that you can actually fix. But I'm on my 4th set of rotors, 2nd set of tires, which, by the way, I gotta say, I run General Ultimax Arctic winter tires. I got my first set at 85, maybe a little sooner than that, somewhere in the early 80,000 miles, and I literally just got a new set at about about 190. So I did about 100,000 miles on that set of tires, and that was year-round driving. And I know they tell you don't drive on snow tires in summer. I did. I was expecting at 50,000 miles that I was going to need new tires soon, and I tell you, those tires just held up, and even when I got them changed, honestly, my back ones still looked decent. So when you basically hit the freeway, set the cruise, and drive for 150 miles at a time without turning and braking hard, stuff like that, you can get a lot more miles out of your tires than that warranty even covers. Or it's just that General makes some damn good tires. But I don't know how many headlights I've changed on this thing. I've replaced all the speakers, and no, I don't listen to my speakers that loud, to be honest with you. A lot of times I just listen to talk radio or podcasts. I rarely play music. Usually that's a Friday night thing because I'm celebrating the end of the week. But yeah, and there isn't a panel on this car that doesn't have a rattle behind it. I don't know what the hell it is. Something squeaks here and squeaks here, and I know that because when I go like that, they stop. Wind noise, which you can probably hear. Bad seals. I got seals falling off of the back doors. But the thing is, the Ecotec engine is a great engine. I'm almost to 200,000 miles. I'm not leaking one drip of fluid from anything as far as I can tell yet. Knock on wood on that one. If I use up more than a quart of oil in 10,000 miles, I get worried, because most of the time I've gone in for oil changes that'll be about 8,000 to 10,000 in between. And mind you, that's about a month and a half. And yeah, they'll tell me I'm down half a quart. So it's running great that way. Gas mileage is okay. I struggle to get over 32, and once the temperature gets this cold, I'm in the high 20s. I'm getting probably like about 28 right now. Yeah, I mean, car leaves a lot to be desired, but for a work vehicle, for doing what I'm doing, headroom would be a little bit nicer. I have the seat literally all the way down, and I'm still where I'm sitting, even with the seat all the way down and as far back as it can go and everything like that. I mean, I'm looking through the top third of the windshield, so they definitely did build this car for a guy that's 6'2", like I am. Yeah, I mean, next time, when I bought this car, I think gas was somewhere around 3 something a gallon. Prior to this, I had a Cobalt. It was a 2006 that I bought off a buddy of mine for a great price. It was a great deal. Made money when I sold it. Put about 30,000 miles on it, which was good. But yeah, I mean, I regularly could get 40,000. I could get 40 miles per gallon out of that thing, and that had basically the exact same platform as this car. The 2.2 Ecotec, automatic transmission. As far as I can tell, they're the same car from the front to the back when it comes to the chassis and all that stuff. It's just the shape of the car that's different, and yeah, I could get 40 miles per gallon on that thing. Chevy HHR, not so much. And I think a lot of that has to do with the aerodynamics. It sits so much higher. Not quite as sleek in the front end. I know the bullet shape that it has is it's not terrible. Back end cuts off, literally pretty much just goes flat and straight down, and I think that's the problem. I think there's a lot of drag on the back of this car, and I know that virtually for a fact, because anytime I drive in the snow, the rain and all that, all the dirt and the salt and everything basically just plasters itself to the back of the car. I mean, just think of how box trucks and semis and stuff like that look in a snowstorm, and how the back of their car gets completely glazed over with snow when it's snowing. Well, my car basically does the same thing, more or less. I mean, it doesn't stick so much to the windshield because of the temperature, but the salt does as the water melts off. And I'll tell you, every time I get gas, I'll have to, even right now, there's barely anything on the road, and it's still, I got a good film of salt on the back of the car. And yeah, that's you know, I think that's one of the big drawbacks. Is I think if they would have done more of a fastback style on this thing, you know, where it kind of, you know, notched the back on a little bit more of an angle, kind of like the P2 Cruiser has. I think that probably would have helped a lot with the gas mileage. But overall, you know, I grew up when, you know, I had a 4-cylinder car that had no power. If I got 25 miles per gallon on that thing, it was lucky. Now I've got a, you know, car that, you know, is probably twice as fast as that. Gets, you know, 50%, well, I don't know, whatever the percentage is, but it's way better gas mileage than any of the cars I ever had that grew up. And yeah, it's, I guess there's really not much to complain about, and with gas prices being where they are right now, hovering around $2 a gallon, I mean, I'd rather have a paid-for car, you know, that struggles to get 30 miles per gallon, rather than go out and buy another car or try and get something newer just so I can, you know, save, you know, an extra 10 miles per gallon or whatnot. But when the time comes that I'm hoping to get this car to 250, and, you know, I do 200 to 400 miles a day depending on where I'm going, and I think, you know, vehicles just really like keep moving. I think that's a big thing for longevity of a car, is your car just sits around, or you drive it 10 minutes a day or whatever. You know, having a low mileage car is awesome for value, but, you know, a car that's really used to running and working and having 250,000 miles on it, yeah, sure, you might be looking at, you know, getting a new engine because of wear and things like that, but at the same point in time, you know, everything's doing its job and running at optimum. And, you know, just look how many things break, you know, stop working when you turn them off. You leave something on, you just let it run. I know it's not the most green thing to do in the world, but, you know, if you just left your car running all the time, you know, you're going to be amazed at how much time you get out of it, you know. And I don't mean running all the time, but I just mean if you have your car running more than it's sitting, it's really, really amazing how that type of stuff happens. You let something sit for just a little while, and all of a sudden it's, you know, it's like, it just becomes problems. And yeah, so, but anyways, I'm starting to get pretty low on light here, so I don't know really much else I'm going to be able to get in on this one. And since this is my test vlog number 1, I really want to get into doing this and talking, because I really think that I think part of our society is sharing our thoughts and not arguing with people and stuff like that. And I want to talk about a lot of things, and you know, try and cover a lot of bases and see what really sticks, and find out what my niche is on this, because I've been watching some vlogs online from other people. I kind of like what they're doing, and honestly, I can't believe they're getting as many views as they're getting for what they're doing, but they all kind of have their niche that they do, and I'm just going to see where mine falls in, because I love a lot of things. First off, of course, I drive for a living. I used to love driving all the time, and now I kind of like when I don't have to drive. It's amazing because I do it for work. But you know, I'm a movie buff. I'm kind of a politics junkie to a certain extent. You know, I find Coast to Coast AM to be quite interesting, because you'll hear things you'll never hear elsewhere. You know, conspiracies, you know, comic books, geek culture, Marvel movies, Star Wars, Star Trek, all that type of stuff. Pro wrestling is a big part of my life that we will get into at some point in time. And just a lot of things to talk about, and I find that the gears in my brain churn the most when I'm out on the road, and probably the best time to share my thoughts on pretty much everything. So sun just set. I'm probably pretty much out of time, and I don't even know how this is going to sound, because to be perfectly honest with you, I'm using a GoPro Hero Plus that I ordered on a Black Friday deal from Amazon. I saw a lot of people using GoPros, and then after doing a little investigation into GoPros, I found out that not all GoPros are alike. And I don't think I got the right one for vlogging and doing this type of stuff, because to be honest with you, I didn't think you were going to see the steering wheel and basically out the window here, so I was kind of hoping to focus a little bit more on my face while I was doing this. But we're going to run with it and see how it goes, and play around with the options, and once I get everything kind of figured out is when I'll officially start my vlog, but this will be kind of like a pre-vlog. So yeah, anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. Yep, no promises on anything at this point in time, but yeah, anyways, we'll see how this goes, and I'm going to try and edit that time lapse I took of driving out to my pickup and throw that in and see how it goes, and then I'm deciding on whether or not I should trim this wonderful beard that I've grown out, because I've been told it's not too photogenic, but you know what? I think some people kind of like it. I know, it keeps my face warm when it's 13 degrees out or whatever it is right now, but yeah, anyways, well, sun's officially down now and headlights are coming on and all that, so I'm going to wrap this one up. So yeah, for the couple people that are probably going to watch this, definitely would love to get some feedback and constructive criticism, and haters, I don't really give a crap about you, so you can say whatever you want, but you're not going to get a response out of me. Just giving this a shot, and want to see how it goes, and anyways, hope you enjoy, and I guess as everybody says, like, subscribe, and hope you enjoy the video. Take care. Have a nice day.